So you just built your WordPress website, but it still looks like this. Well, don't worry, this video is here to save the day. Because in this video, I'm going to show you how to exactly set up your WordPress website. I'm going to teach you the next few steps you need to take after you've installed WordPress and created a blank site to make it a fully functional website. And if you haven't set up a website yet and you're still watching this video, then there's a link down in the description where you can create your own website in the next 15 minutes. Now, I've made this video already on how to build a website, but the process of installing WordPress just takes 15 minutes. The short version is that you go to the link in the description, click on it, and it will take you to a special page. We'll give you discounted hosting and also a free domain name for a year. Then you sign up, just pay a little bit of money, and then just click a few buttons, and then you'll have this website, which I just showed you. And then you can follow along the next few steps to create your website. Also, on another note, if you're not technically savvy and if you'd like someone to help with building your website, then you can opt for WP Beginners Pro services. We offer website design services, website maintenance, SEO, and all kinds of services, and they are very, very affordable. So those will be linked in the description as well if you want professional help to build your website. But now you can watch the video on what we do to set up a WordPress website. So first things first, the absolute first thing that we'll set up on our website is changing the website's title. And you can see here on the screen, the title is a temporary domain that I've just set up the website with. And it appears here on the home page, it appears in the admin area. And if you go back in the dashboard, it appears here as well. Doesn't look great, let's fix it. So for that, all you need to do is go to settings here and go into general settings. And inside the general settings, you can change the site title. So if I go here and I just say, now you can see the title is here. Now you can also scroll down and save our changes. And once the changes are saved, let's also refresh the page here. And we kind of see it here. We need to clear the cache here, but we still see it here. Let me also show you how to clean this up. But first, let's configure some essential settings on the site as well. Going back into the admin area, we have a lot of settings here that we have to configure. The first thing you'll need to realize is that you have a site title setup, which we already did. You can also have a site icon, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. And then you also have some other settings to configure. Make sure the administrative email address is correct. I blurred it out on the screen. And also make sure that the membership section is unchecked. You don't want anybody to register unless you're designing a forum or a Q&A website, something along those lines. Then also set your site language if you want to change it. Set your time zone and you can change it here. For example, I'm in the US UTC plus 5:30 time zone. So I'll just change it here. So universal time is shown here. And also change your date format and your time format, and you can preview that here. And then week starts on as well. These are essential settings you need to configure. Let's save our changes to make sure the changes are committed. So I'll talk about definitely on how to change your logo and upload your logo to your site. But before that, we need to understand some key differences on how to actually use WordPress. WordPress has basically two types of pieces of content, pages and posts. And let me demonstrate the difference with an example. So on the screen here, once again, if I go to WP Beginner's website, which is wpbeginner.com, this is a home page. You heard the term home page, but you might not realize that page in terms of context of WordPress is the page. So what does the page actually mean? Well, page is usually a static piece of content that doesn't change often. So a home page is a page, and you can see here, this is a custom designed page with a lot of different elements, quizzes, galleries, some solutions, everything else. So that's a page. Similar to that, if we go to the footer of this home page, we'll find links to other pages. So an About Us page is a page. Editorial Standards of WP Beginner is still a page. Review Board page is a page. Press page is a page. Contact Us is a page. And all these are pages that we have on our site. But we also have posts, which usually you can call them as blog posts on a site. You can find them by going to the top of the section here, and you see a blog section. If I click on it, then you'll see the blog section come up. And the blog section basically is a reverse chronological display of the posts on the site. So basically, the most recent blog post that's published will be shown first. So you can see how to collect cash payment apps. This is the most recent post on the site. And you can see if you keep scrolling, you'll have a chronological or reverse chronological list of all the blog posts on your site. So by default, if you see the website we have, which is here, it shows our default blog post, which is actually basically we created. So it's acting like this page, which is the blog page. So the first thing you have to kind of consider and change on your WordPress website is, do you want a static homepage or do you want a dynamic, let's say, page on the homepage, which lists blog posts on the site? Might be confusing, but basically on the home page, when anybody comes to your site, what do you expect them to see, or what do you want them to see? Do you want them to see a list of all the blog posts that you've created on the site? Or do you want to create something specific? For example, if you have a business, you want to talk about your business, and something else like services, testimonials, something like that. So to make that decision, you have to change a couple of settings in WordPress first. So if you go here, and if you go into the reading section here, and this is where you'll find the setting to change between a static homepage and a dynamic homepage. But the setting is not visible here because we don't have many pages on our site. So what I'll do is just go to the pages section here. I'll just create a new page. So I'll just click on add new page, and I'll right click and open it a new tab. And I'll just name the new page the home page so that we can actually target another page for our home page. And I'll cover this section on how to create a page in a later part of this video. Right now, I'm just going to name this home page. I'm going to click publish here and click publish. And once the page is published, I'll go back to my reading settings here, and I'll refresh the page, and hopefully the setting should show up. And now you can see that since we have created a new page, we have the option of choosing between our home page, which should display a latest post, or a static home page. So in this case, I'll choose a static home page. Again, it's your choice. So I'll click here, and for the home page, I'll click this and select the home page, and I'll click save changes. Now, for the post page, we still need to create another page which can actually sign up or show up our posts. So I'll do the same thing again. I'll close the previous post that I created, or page I created, go back to pages, and I'll go to add new page, right click, open a new tab. And I'll just call this the feed page or the blog page. I can call it the blog page. Let's close this for a second. Let's close this. Let's click blog, publish. And now this is done. Let's go back, refresh. And I can go and select the blog page and save my changes. And now if you go back to the home page of the site here, if I refresh this page, it's a blank page because we created the home page. And since the cache is refreshed, you can now see the title is also changed. So that also worked. And if I change the URL on the website directly and just go to /blog, I'm typing it in. If you go here, oops, they made a typo here. Let's go to blog. Then we should see a collection of all blog posts, which just has one blog post, which is the default blog post in WordPress. So we made the first essential change. We've decided on a static or a dynamic homepage, and we also created a new page for our blog feed. That's the first essential step we need to do. And the next few things we have to do is mostly about creating new pages and designing them. So let me first talk about what kind of pages you'll need to create. Now, there are a variety of pages you need to have on your site. Some are mandatory and some are optional, but still I'll give you details of all the pages and posts you should have. For example, every website needs a home page. I already showed you how to do that. You also need an about page. You also need a contact page. You need a terms and conditions page, a privacy policy, and some disclaimer page. Some of these are good to have. Some of these are required by law. So make sure to have all these pages well, created and also well designed, and also to have the right information, because rules vary by country. So terms and conditions and privacy policy, you might have to add details depending on the country and your regulations. Then the next few pages are as something not optional, but depends on the kind of website you have. You might need to create a services or products page. So if you are just not creating a website just for a blog or sharing your own thoughts, if you have a business which you want to showcase with your website, then you might need to create a services page or a products page so that you can showcase that, hey, these are my products, these are my services. Then you can also add a start here page. This is very good and very useful for information heavy or information first websites, where let's say, for example, if you teach people how to garden and they're absolutely new to the world of gardening, then you can have a page which is called start here, which takes them through the process of how to start gardening and essential things they'll need. It's a very useful page, and a lot of information sites actually use it. So it's a good strategy to have. So make sure to have that page. Also, you might need some landing pages on your site. Now, landing pages basically are designed with a conversion goal in mind. For example, if you do online workshops, you teach something, let's say you teach tons, and you have an online workshop coming up, you want to create a landing page that is designed just to get people to sign up. So you might need to create a few of those pages as well. Now, all these pages should have, and of course, I've shared the visuals on the screen. You can go back and pause and take a screenshot of that so you can create those pages. But how do we actually create those pages? Let me teach you some of the fundamentals of how to create a page in WordPress. By the way, I've done a full tutorial on the block builder in WordPress. So if you want to become an expert of the block builder and use it, that is something you can do. So if I go back to my page here, and let's say we go back to the home page. So I'll go back here, and from the pages menu, I'll find my home page. This is my home page. You can see it here. Let's edit this page. So block builder is actually pretty easy to use. First, you have the title here, which is the title of the page. Then you have the content that you can add here. Now the pop-up that comes up on the screen, I've just closed it purposefully, purposefully, so that I can actually show you the different kinds of processes or different ways to actually do things. Now the block builder, as the name suggests, is basically, think of it as a Lego-based builder. How you can stack Lego on top of each other to create anything you like. You can create or stack blocks in WordPress to create anything you like. Now, block can be block of text, video, images, or anything else. And you can stack them to create a wonderful looking website. Just to give an example, if you click this plus icon here, which is the blog inserter option, you'll find a lot of different blocks. And if you hover over them, you'll see a preview. So you can add paragraphs, headings, lists, quotes, code, details, pre-formatted, pull quote, table, verse, classic, and then tons of different block types. Let me give an example of how these work. For example, if you want to add a table to your blog post, then you just have to click and drag and leave it like this. And you can decide on how many rows and columns you want. Click create table, and now you have a table created. Now you can fill the information in. Example, table. You can say item, and then just click on these settings here. Let's say I want to say ABC, and this is 2. And done. We've just added a table to our site. Now, one thing you'll notice is that whenever I click here, this section also changes. What does this mean? Well, this is the settings option where you can find settings for the page itself and for the block that you just selected or added. So if I click the page section, you'll see these are settings for the page, the entire page. But if I click on a specific block, the settings I see here are for this block, which is in this case, the table block. So in the table block, I can see options here. I can have a header section. So now we have headers here. I can have footers here. And then if I go to design option, I can have style changes. I can change the color, the typography. I can make it large, Excel, or medium as well. So in a couple of seconds, I've just completely customized the table. So that's how easy it is to use the block builder to add anything you like. For example, if I go back here and add the details block here, now I can write a summary of the block. Example, let's say summary. And let's say you have an information heavy blog post and you want to add the summary so that people can read the summary first or read the summary at the end and get all the information. So I can add the summary here. For example, I'll just add the summary for this blog post. I'll say making and that's a summary of this blog post. So now if I click this, this opens up. So you can add just not the static text and images, but you can add a lot of dynamic elements as well. Similar to this, you can add images. For example, if I drag it here like this, I'll have an image area which I can click and just add an image to the site. So this is a basic crash course on using the block builder. Once again, I've done a complete video on the block builder, so you can go check it out. But the easiest way to add, let's say, beautiful looking or create beautiful looking pages on your site is by using patterns. Now, what are patterns? Think of patterns as predefined sections of your blog post. So instead of getting, let's say, Lego bricks, you get some predefined, let's say, Lego walls or Lego structures, and then you put structures together to create the final output. So let me demonstrate. So if I click on this and first clear the section or clear the page, I'll delete these and delete this as well. Then I'll show you how patterns work. So let's clear the page. And for accessing patterns, it's pretty easy. When you click the block inserter, so alongside the blocks, you also see the patterns here. So all you have to do is click patterns. And now we have the patterns here. And if you click on all patterns, you'll see, first of all, the page zooms out because it's easy to see what the page looks like. Then you have a lot of different patterns. And think of them as wireframes for your pages. You can just put them together and create a beautiful looking page. For example, if let's say I'm creating a page about myself and I want to add a section about me or about, let's say, a book I'm writing, all I have to do is click on this and the about section is now done with the title or the heading, the text, and also a great image. Then I can just, let's just scroll around and find something else that I like. For example, I like this. Let's say map location. I'll say, hey, it's a book signing event, so I can create a page like this. Then I can scroll down again and I click this and then bio copy. So we have options here. So, and let's say tell your story, and we'll also add a footer section and let's say international editions. And I can scroll down or scroll ahead and I'll say, hey, more sections, sign up. And I'll click my online store section. And I think we can also click this. And within a few seconds, you can see it's looking great. We have a beautiful looking page done. Now, to see the page in action or to actually interact with the page, all we have to do is exit the pattern insertion. So all I do is just click this button here, which is the zoom out, or I say basically we're closing the zoom out option here, and we should be done. Now, if I click and close this, now if you see, we have a beautiful looking page already done. Beautiful, right? Let's preview this page. So to preview the page or live preview, you can click this computer looking glyph icon here. If I click on this, we'll have an option for desktop, tablet, and mobile, and I can click preview in a new tab. So I'll click on this, and it'll open up a live preview of how the page looks like because we haven't saved the page. So of course, we have a header, and we have this home page, we have about the book, and we have some beautiful looking page already done. How cool is that? Now, easy it is to actually create this. This is how easy WordPress actually makes it to create a website and custom design pages. And the benefit is, if you don't like the order of the things that I've just set up on screen, we also can change some things. For example, if I go here, there's also a cool feature inside WordPress called the list view. So if I go here, see, this will show you the document overview. And inside this, we have the list view and the outline. So if you see the outline, you'll see, hey, what are the headings like? But in the list view, you see a lot of different sections. So all these sections are, if you click on it, it'll highlight the actual section. The best part is I can just change or the order or reorder stuff around just by dragging and dropping. So for example, if I want to have this centered footer with social links, or I say I want to have the call to action just above the call to action with locations. So I'll just click and drag and just drag it like this. And we should be done like this. And now I've just moved things around. Pretty easy stuff, right? So that's how easy it is to create a page. Now, there are several different ways to create pages. This is not the only way. You can completely customize it. For example, when you click something, you can actually change the text. So if you can say change United States to just USA, instantly done. You can add links by clicking on them. You can bold text. You can replace images. Basically, even if you design your page using patterns, it's still completely changeable and customizable. You don't have to stick with what you just did. And also the colors and everything is also customizable. So colors, typography, everything is customizable. This is basically, as I say, the first draft of the page that you want to create, and much easier to create with patterns rather than starting from scratch. So that's how easy it is to create a page. Now, once again, I've done an entire video on how to use the block builder. It goes into a lot more detail on the controls and different plugins you can use to, let's say, enhance functionality to create a page. So I recommend you watch that video as well if you have trouble designing your pages. But next thing we have to do to set up a website is to install essential plugins. Now, plugins are like apps for WordPress. For example, you have a phone, but if it's worthless, or I say worth very much less if you don't have great apps. Even let's say an instant messenger, or let's say text messaging app like Instagram app. Apps just make it easy and add more functionality. So similar to this, WordPress has an ecosystem of plugins you can have on your website which add essential functionality. So let me talk about which plugins you should install and how to install them as well. So to do that and install plugins, we'll exit. We'll first save this page because I like this page. And then once the page is saved, we'll head back to the dashboard and the main dashboard area. Let's click on it. And inside here, we have a plugins menu here, menu entry. And here, I'll just go to add new plugin. Now, there's several different kinds of categories of plugins you can install. The plugins that I'll mention, or I specifically will target something called SEO, search engine optimization, so you can rank higher in the search results. I'll talk about a plugin called for forms, which is great for contact forms and all the other jazz. And then also I'll talk about an analytics plugin, which help you collect data about how and when and what are users doing on your site. And also something that makes your website faster, and also how to send or configure, let's say, essential emails. So let me just name the plugin, show you how to search for it, how to install it, and then I'll talk about what the plugin does as well. So the first plugin you should search for is called AIO SEO. So just type it in, AIO SEO. It's an abbreviation for all-in-one SEO, one of the most fantastic plugins for WordPress when it comes to search engine optimization. And this is what you'll see, all-in-one SEO, powerful SEO plugin to boost search rankings. Let's click install now. And this plugin will completely change the game when it comes to optimizing your site when it comes to SEO. And once it's done, you can click activate, but I'll save the activation process for later. So once this is done, let's clear this up and search for a plugin called WP Forms. Once again, most powerful plugin for WordPress when it comes to building forms on your site. So let's click WP Forms. Oops, Forms. Let the search finish. And now we have WP Forms. This is one of the best plugins when it comes to building forms on a site. Let's click install now. And meanwhile, you also see this plugin called WP Mail SMTP. This is also a very fantastic and powerful plugin, an essential plugin on your WordPress website. Because most servers, when you install WordPress, are not designed to send out emails. So you might not even get password recovery emails if you lose your password. And specifically sending out, let's say, registering users, sending them password recovery emails, or what you want to run a newsletter, then on your WordPress website, the functionality just isn't there. So you need to have an SMTP plugin and configure it with the email, let's say, service provider of your choice. For example, ActiveCampaign, Drip, or any other plugin, or even your custom own Gmail address. So for that, you need to install WP-Mail SMTP as well. So let's click install now on that plugin as well. Let's wait for it to finish. And that plugin is installed as well. Let's also look for another plugin for analytics. It's called Monster Insights. I'll just search for it. So this is Monster Insights. So what does Monster Insights do? Basically, there's a free, let's say, a service from Google called Google Analytics. It's a wonderful service. You can use that product or service and install it on your site and collect data about, hey, what people are doing. You can set up goals for conversions inside. It's a very, very powerful plugin. But the problem is that's very hard to configure, especially for, let's say, beginners or, say, people who are not very familiar with WordPress. And what Monster Insights does is it installs it for you and even lets you design custom reports, and basically saves you the headache and hassle of configuring Google Analytics on your website, which can be tricky. So there's a free version of this as well. So let's click on this, install now, and set up basically Google Analytics on your website in just a few steps, and you'll get a lot of insights and analytical actionable data on your website as well. So this is also done. So the last plugin or last category of plugin we need to have on our site is a caching plugin. Now, caching is a process which helps you speed up your website. It's a little bit technical, so I'll skip the technical part and just tell you to have the plugin on site. But in this case, I'll not install a new plugin on my site because when I set up this website with Hostinger, they installed a caching plugin for me already. But it's important to have a caching plugin if your hosting provider does not have the caching plugin. So you can connect with your hosting provider, and if you're using Hostinger, using the link in the description, they'll set it up for you automatically. You don't have to worry about that. Now, I've installed a lot of these plugins, but are they active on our site? Well, not yet. So let's go and activate our plugin. So I'll just head to Install Plugins menu here, and we'll see a lot of plugins that are activated and a lot of plugins that are not activated. So you can see here, we have Hostinger, some custom plugins that are made for us, Hostinger AI, easy onboarding, tools, and caching, as I said, cache plugin. But the other plugins that we install are not activated. So let's select these plugins. Here. Click here. Just select Activate in the bulk actions. Let's click Apply. And now all the plugins will be activated. And now we are done. Now all our plugins are activated. Our caching is active. Google Analytics, Monster Insights is active. All of NSU is activated. WP Forms is activated, and WP Mail SMTP is also activated. And that's how easy it is to set up a WordPress website, setting up some essential pages, configure some essential settings on your website, and making some changes to your website as well. Pretty easy stuff, right? Now, the last and final thing that remains for me to show you is how to add a logo to your site. But before we add a logo, we have to install a theme as well, because it's an essential part of, let's say, styling our website. So let's go to the appearance section here, and I'll search for a theme. I'll install a new theme on a site, and then I'll show you how to upload a new logo. So inside the theme section, we have some existing themes that are already here and active on our site. Just go to this section here called Add New Theme. And from here, we'll just go to, we'll search for, or we can see the theme here, which I was going to recommend, which is the Astra theme. You can see the Astra theme here. It's one of the most popular themes. You can see it already. And you can completely customize it. It's a very powerful theme. So let's install the theme right now. Let's click on it. Let's also activate it. So the Astra theme is now installed on our site. Let's upload a new logo on our website now. For that, we'll head to the customizer. And to find the customizer, we can just look at the appearance section and go to customize section here. Let's click on customize. And this will open up a new view on WordPress, which is the customizer. We can customize plenty of settings on your WordPress website. But for this, it's a very extensive bunch of settings. So I'll just focus on, hey, how to upload our own logo on the site first. So let's go to the header builder here, and this will allow us to change the header, which contains the logo as well. So we can click on this, or what you can do is just hover over the page, and whenever you see a pencil icon here, just click on the pencil icon and it'll open the settings for that specifically. So if I click the header builder, we'll reach the header builder, and then if I click on this, or we click the site title and logo option from here, this will take us to this section where we can use a logo on our site or upload a new logo on our site. Now the logo I have is in white color for right now, so it doesn't work well. So let me just pause the video for a second, change the logo to black color, and I'll show you how to actually upload it on our site again. So I changed the logo color and let me show you how to upload it. So from the site title settings, we already selected it. Now we already see the option to upload our logo. So just click select logo, and we can now drag and drop our logo. And you can see the suggested dimensions and maximum file size. The file size is absolutely huge, so you don't have to worry about the file size, but the recommended dimensions and the aspect ratio is something you need to consider. So I'll have this uploaded here. So I'll drag and drop it here like this and let it go. And in a couple of seconds, it's already done. Let's click install, or say not install, but yeah, let's proceed to the next step. And we also have the option of cropping. I'll just make sure that it's not cropped because already it's very tight. Let's skip cropping. And now we can see that our logo is here. Now, if you want to remove the site title, you can have the title visibility gone. For example, I just click here and it should be gone. So you can control the visibility of the site title and just do it like this. So now we have a beautiful logo here and completely done website. All right. So this concludes the video and how to use the website and how to basically set up your WordPress website in a few easy steps. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video, and leave a question in the comment. And I'll place some videos on the screen to how to set up a website and also how to use the block builder to continue your WordPress education so that you can build a beautiful looking website. Once again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And you're watching Yuvraj from W Beginner. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.